John Lewis has dismissed a former children's laureate's claims they ripped off one of his books for their latest Christmas advert and called it utterly different. Moz the Monster has captured hearts across Britain because of his relationship with unlikely best friend, Joe, a 7-year-old who finds him lurking under his bed. But award-winning author Chris Riddle shared a video on Twitter highlighting the resemblance between the plot and that of his book Mr Und and his adventures with young Jim. Mr. Riddle tweeted yesterday, "John Lewis helps themselves to my picture book before comparing the two, but the retailer has hit back and said, our story is utterly different to Chris Riddle's. Both Moz, bottom, and Mr. Und, top, are blue, with bulbous noses and offer a friendly hand to their young hosts." A spokesman said, "The story of a big hairy monster under the bed which keeps a child from sleeping is a universal tale which has been told many times over many years. Ours is a Christmas story of friendship and fun between Joe and Moz the Monster, in which Joe receives a nightlight which helps him get a good night's sleep." Riddle today called on John Lewis to be more careful when brainstorming ideas for their popular Christmas advertising campaign. He said the department store undoubtedly gained inspiration from his 1986 book, Mr. Und. Mr. Riddle, who lives in Brighton, said his friendly monster must have accidentally leapt from a storyboard or mood board at an advertising agency into the final heartwarming ad. He told Mail Online, "In the way of all these creative things it's very hard to pinpoint exactly how it happened and what the procedure might have been. I did think when I watched the advert that the similarity was so undoubtedly recognizable that I wanted to comment. Jim, left, and Joe, right, are both seen in their beds before the respective monsters emerge from under their beds. It's important for creative people to be given some sort of credit if their work is referenced in some way." The award-winning author and illustrator who published Mr. Und in 1986, said, "John Lewis have said, no, it's got nothing to do with Mr. Und at all. Probably for copyright. I am certainly not going to get litigious about this, that's not the issue. I just think it is rather wonderful of John Lewis to advertise my book. John Lewis really need to think about these things as they develop their Christmas adverts because I am a great fan, they're heartwarming. If there is a link with creative work then they should reference it. Maybe in this case something was on a mood board at an advertising agency and didn't quite get picked up on. But for someone like me, I am an established author and illustrator, it's not a question of suing, but young, creative people do need credit because it can be galling for them to see their work taken and not receiving credit." The two monsters, Mr. Und, left, and Moz, right, emerge from their homes under the children's beds. Date created, 1986. Fur color, blue. Nose color, red.